Hey guys, back for video number 18. Working my way to 30 videos in a row. So thanks for joining me again. Tonight I'm going to answer a couple more questions from some of the people that offered me topics to talk about via Twitter. So the first one was Marzy, BuriedOnMars, and he asked me if my trade knowledge, being an electrician, has ever came in handy in my hobby, retro video gaming. I thought about it, and there was a couple instances where it came in handy. Not too many, but number one that came to mind was Game Boy bought a PS2 Slim at a flea market for like $10 with all the hookups, and we got it home, and sure enough, it didn't work. So I did some research on the symptoms it was having and found that it needed a lens or something, or the laser eye. It was like an $8 part off Amazon, so I ordered the part, and I was able to fix it fairly easy with some solder and just kind of follow the directions. So not really using my trade knowledge because I'm not really into electronics, I'm an electrician, but it's somewhat related, and I'm really good at fixing things and taking things apart, so it kind of came as second nature to me. So that was one instance. And then also back when the original Xbox, you could link them together with a cable. I permanently installed a Cat 5 cable, through the wall and everything, up from my upstairs TV to my downstairs TV. So when my brother-in-law came over, he would bring his Xbox, and we would play Halo together against each other, from one person being upstairs, one person being downstairs. So I'm really good at fishing wires in because that's what I do for a living. So I was able to fish in a Cat 5 cable from one television downstairs to upstairs via going down into the crawl space and then coming up some other route. I don't even remember how I did it, but anyway. So there's two instances where my trade knowledge kind of came in handy with my hobby. So thanks for the question, Kevin. I really appreciate it. And then also TokuJoe, who, by the way, is a guest along with his cohort or his friend. I'm not even sure if they're associated with each other, but him and Liam, which is the Donovan Viper. We're on Retro Fandango. I'm listening to that today. I'm almost done because their podcasts are 3 hours long, so I got to listen to them in chunks. So I'm probably 20 minutes away from being done, but it's been a great episode. So good job, guys, as guests on the Retro Fandango show. But anyway, he asked me what my favorite Christmas movies were. So that's a great, fun thing to talk about. So a lot of movies come to mind. I mean, going back, to my childhood, they're not really movies, or some of them I guess are considered movies, but really they were holiday specials. But all the Rankin Bass stuff, the Rudolph and the Frosty cartoon, and the what else was there? The Shiny New Year, that was another Rudolph one, and all the animation, the puppetry and claymation ones were just, gosh, the nostalgia that comes when you watch those is just tremendous, because that is just, I mean, every Christmas we would sit and watch those together as a family. So, but anyway, I'm getting a little off track because those aren't really movies. Well, kind of they're different categories because there's movies that I love to watch with the kids, and every year we watch Elf several times, which we just love.
Okay, people, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Santa's coming to town.
Santa! Oh my God! Santa here? I know him.
And we also watch the Grinch, which not only the Christmas special, or the cartoon special, but also the movie with Jim Carrey, which isn't great, but it's still kind of fun to watch with the kids. So those are kind of the main ones that we watch with the kids pretty routinely every year. I'm trying to think if there's any others. I can't think of any. But my wife and I traditionally watch Christmas Vacation every year when we're wrapping gifts. So that's our little tradition. And that movie has its flaws. There are some really cheesy moments in there that are just not that funny. But overall, it's a really good movie, I think. And it's got enough good stuff in there to overshadow the cheesy stuff to make it, to me, a classic. So I really like Christmas Vacation. It's just, it's Chevy Chase in its prime. And again, the writing's a little cheesy. It wasn't as good as the earlier Vacation movies, but because some of the stuff with the neighbors was kind of just, kind of silly, and the ice shooting off the the rain's gutter into the room, and all that all the shenanigans with the neighbors. Some of it was funny, but some of the stuff was just kind of cheesy.
And why is the carpet all wet, Todd?
I don't know, Margot.
But again, it's just something that my wife and I watch every single year. So we really like Christmas Vacation. And of course, The Christmas Story. I know everybody loves that movie, and it's kind of you know, a cliche almost to like that movie, because I don't know about where you guys are in England or in Canada, but here in the States, every Christmas Eve, one of the channels airs it for 24 hours. So it's always kind of on, like Christmas Eve. Everybody puts it on in their home. So you kind of get sick of it, but it's such a good movie. I mean, you can't deny that. I guess you could, but you'd be wrong. But it's such a great movie, and even though I've seen it a million times, it's still enjoyable to watch, and it's just so well done. And so that's way high up there on the list for favorite Christmas movies. But if I had to pick an all-time favorite, that would be Albert Finney's Scrooge. Now that movie is a take on Scrooge from the 70s. It's a musical. But I highly suggest you guys check it out if you haven't. It is my favorite Christmas movie of all time, because it's got great music, it's got a great aesthetic, it's a period piece, obviously, and it's got great acting. Albert Finney is just tremendous in it, and it's also got some horror elements. It's one of the creepier Scrooges. I remember being scared of a couple scenes when I was a kid. There's a scene when the third ghost, the ghost of the future, and this movie is portrayed as a Grim Reaper, and he's got like a skeleton hand, and Scrooge falls into his grave, and then he goes into hell, and it's really kind of scary.
Judy, I will repent!
So that kind of stands out. But I try to watch that every year, and it's just a really, really good movie. So if you haven't seen Albert Finney's Scrooge, I'm not sure. I think it's called Scrooge. It might be Christmas Carol, but I'm pretty sure it's called Scrooge. But it could be called Christmas Carol. But I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's just really, really good. So there's my all-time favorite Christmas movie, because it's very nostalgic, because I used to watch it as a kid, and it still holds up today, and it's just such a great movie. So there you have it. Thanks again for following along. I'm almost at 20, and then I'll be almost at 30. So I'm really enjoying this, guys, and I'm really enjoying all the feedback I'm getting. And maybe I'll try to talk about some video game stuff tomorrow. Who knows? We'll see. So thanks again, and I'll see you tomorrow.